Hi, Mickey. I'm just curious what you can tell us about the opener and what that process is like. I mean, who's determining that and who's working on it?
Yeah, look, the league office, obviously the two clubs involved. There's a number of people involved in any decision. Obviously, we'll have an announcement at some point as to what we're going to do. We don't have that yet, but it'll be forthcoming, I'm sure.
Mickey, is just following up. Is there any chance it could be in New Orleans, or has that been completely ruled out?
Yeah, I don't know that yet. Again, Jeff, we'll have an announcement. Hopefully today, but when that decision is made and final, then we'll let everyone know.
John DeShazer.
Mickey, are there any solidified plans, I guess, of, for the next 3-4 weeks? I think Sean said, he felt pretty safe that it wouldn't be back for 3-4 weeks, but I mean, any solidified plans about where the team's going to be housed and those kinds of things for the next, immediate.
Yeah, look, we've got a firm plan for the next week of preparation. We're going to do that here in Dallas. We've got a place to practice and a place to stay for our team, and we'll have an announcement about that later today as well.
Doug Mouton.
Hey, Mickey, what are the rules when it comes to that opener? I apologize. What are the rules when it comes to that opener? It has to be in an NFL stadium, correct? I'm guessing it has to be a team that's off or on the road in week one. What are sort of the criteria that you have to look through, to pick a place that even maybe you could play if it's not New Orleans?
Yeah, look, a couple things. I think, it does need to be an NFL stadium because of replay and some of the other issues. Obviously, there has to be availability relative to the home team and relative to any other events that might be in the facility. So each week, I know the NFL, the league office, has a number of sites that they have identified as open and available in case of a disaster and a team having to move their game. So, I think the league and is really well prepared in terms of having to move a game on short notice.
If you don't mind, Mickey, would it be safe to say that you are conscious of not moving to a place that would give Green Bay some kind of home field advantage?
Well, look, we're conscious of everything. I think, when it comes to, preparing for an opponent. But, the main thing is, hey, we've got to have an NFL ready stadium. And look, there's just so many variables. I don't want to get into all the variables that exist. But the main thing is to have a suitable place to play that both teams have access to.
Luke Johnson.
Hey, Mickey, I'm curious what the process has been like for especially your pro personnel guys looking at trying to fill out these rosters from all the guys across the league who've been let go. You guys had it set up like kind of a weird base of operations out there. How's that worked?
Yeah, well, it's been, pretty good. Our video people and our IT people have done a great job of getting our technology to us and having, all the film and all the things that we normally have access to, we have access to. Really the only difference is instead of being in separate offices reviewing, these lists and reviewing, each analyzing and evaluating each guy individually, we're just all in one room. And I kind of like it actually, because there's some give and take and some feedback back and forth and discussion back and forth about each guy that you don't ordinarily get by sitting in your office and making an evaluation and then going and communicating that back and forth. So it's actually been a decent process.
Mike Triplett.
Doug asked a couple of the questions I was going to ask, but I'm curious: is the idea of a Monday night game also ruled out? Is it going to be Sunday no matter what? Or
yeah, look, I think ideally it will be in the same time slot, and again, those decisions get made collectively by the league and the clubs, and we'll have an announcement about that later today.
Ethan Terrell.
Hey, Mickey, just following up on the practice plans for the next week. Have you guys finalized plans to play at TCU, or are there other options still
Yeah,
available?
no, listen, we're gonna have an announcement about that later today. That's certainly, one of the top candidates. I expect that announcement to be within, an hour or two.
All right, thank you.
Jeff Duncan,
Mickey, what are the next few days going to be like for the football operations? I mean, the players are going to be off. You're going to have protocols. Can players leave, or what's that going to be like?
Yeah, I think the next few days will actually be similar to what it would have been if we were in New Orleans. There's the players have some days off. Our staff, our coaching staff anyway, has a few days off, and they'll be doing some preparation as well during that time. The real difference is that our operations staff is going to be frantically at work, setting up, our technology and the things that we need to get ready for to be able to prepare next week for the Green Bay Packers.
And just following up again, how much did your experience going through this after Katrina, all the times you've been through this, help in preparing for this unprecedented situation?
Yeah, look, we've got a number of people in our building that were here, when we evacuated for Katrina, but we've had a couple of evacuations since then. So we're familiar with the process, familiar with what we need to do. And I think it went relatively smoothly. I wouldn't say it was smooth, but it went relatively smoothly, given the amount of logistics that have to be handled, in an event like this.
Rod Walker.
Yeah, Mickey, that was sort of what I was going to ask. But I mean, what have been the biggest challenges in all this for you?
Well, look, I think there's a lot of challenges. It's too hard. It's really just a mountain of things, and really the approach you have to take is, solving one problem at a time. One of the things that happens is that you've got a number of people in the building, players and staff people that haven't been through this before, and so there's a little more uncertainty with them. So we did the best we can. We do the best we can to communicate and just be really transparent about what we're trying to accomplish and our goals, and we're making sure that we have an open line of communication if someone has an individual problem that we need to get solved. So there's too many things logistically to have to go through to talk about, and it would take too much time to talk about each of those things individually. But I think just communication and making sure that we communicate is the one thing that we try to do really well.
Yeah, I had one quick follow-up. Just kind of your response to I know the Falcons and I think the Ravens, just kind of their being willing to chip in and do their part, and what's kind of just your response to those teams?
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about the NFL is that we're competitors. We compete really hard on the field. We want to beat their brains out on Sunday, just like they want to beat ours. But man, when there's a crisis, I always feel like the NFL family is the first people to step up. I can't tell you how many calls and texts I've gotten from, people around the league just offering any kind of help, whether it's financial or physical or just, offering words of encouragement and support. So it's one of the great things about the NFL.
Jeff Nowak.
Yeah, this is similar to Rod's question. Obviously AT&T Stadium offers almost like a home option, but if that's not available and the team ends up, week 1, week 4, just having to play in a different location, what kind of unique, be it travel or whatever type obstacles are there when you are essentially playing, a completely road schedule, if you will?
Well, I look, we don't plan on playing a completely road schedule. We plan on playing a lot of games at home in the Superdome this year, and that's what we expect to do. I don't think there's anything really too unique about playing on the road if we have to this week 1, because look, we're going to do that week 2 and week 3, so it'll be a normal road trip. If it's just departing from here, and we're going to prepare here for the week leading up to the game.
Luke Johnson.
Hey, Mickey, just going back to potentially adding players in these next couple of days. How does that process work for you guys in terms of tryouts? Are you guys able to have space to host those guys for stuff like that? Like, how are these kind of logistical problems being solved here?
Yeah, listen, there won't be, I don't anticipate anything being different other than, if we need to have a tryout, we're going to fly them in here to Dallas and work them out, at a local field. That I don't see that being a lot different. I really don't.
Doug Mouton.
I apologize, Mickey. This is kind of a repeat. Did you say you expect to have an announcement about the opener today? Does that mean you're getting close maybe to locking something up?
Yeah, well, look, I did say today the second time. I don't know that it'll be today for sure. That's going to come from, it's not coming from us. It's going to come from, I'm sure, the league in conjunction with the teams. So I'm not putting that out. I did say today, though. I hope it's today, but I don't know for sure that it's going to be today.
Ed Warder.
Yeah, Mickey, you said hopefully today, so I think that's fair. My question is on the football team in general. Obviously, you faced a lot of challenges in putting this roster together, from Drew Brees' retirement to the $100 million you had to cut off the salary cap. How do you feel about the team you've put together and Jameis and the ability of this team to compete for a 5th straight division title? Yeah, look, I think we feel really good about our team. We feel good about it because of, the demonstrated, ability that these guys have had with our team. And we like the things that we've done in the preseason and training camp and the leadership and the play we've gotten from the quarterbacks and Jameis and obviously Taysom's going to have his role. So I do feel good about our team. Excuse me. Maybe that's the announcement. Well, go ahead and read it and let us know.
Sean Fazand.
Yeah, Mickey, what is just kind of the morale of the organization right now? This is obviously not something that's ideal to have to deal with right before the season starts. What's kind of the morale of the organization right now?
Yeah, I think it's really good. Listen, one thing that happens when you have, these types of adversities is you can get really focused. And I feel like our staff and our team is really focused and we get a little break here. So, the uniqueness of not having a 4th preseason game and this happening at this timing, it probably, I don't want to say couldn't have been better, but it kind of, it's nice to have a few days to take a deep breath and get prepared to get into the regular season.
Last one from Amy Just.
Yeah, that leads right into my next question. How did the lack of, now a 3rd preseason game affect how you made roster decisions, and how do you feel about your initial 53-man roster?
I think I don't know that it affected it. Look, we would have liked to have had another look at there's a group of players, a small group of players that we would have liked to have had one more look at in a game circumstance, but I don't know. I can't say that, it would have changed ultimately what our 53 looked like. Look, I like having preseason games. I think those are great opportunities for, guys to step up and for guys to demonstrate, their ability. And so I feel bad for the guys that didn't get that opportunity, but ultimately I don't think it affected materially how our 53-man roster ended up.
We'll do one
Mickey,
more.
is Mike Thomas, is that 6 games or is that just 6 weeks? Can you come back after the 5th game bye? Would the bye count as a 6 week?
Yeah. Yes.
Mike, go ahead.
Mickey, I know you're not going to give us any specifics, but did you put in as many waiver claims or more waiver claims today than ever before, or in several years because of the roster turnover?
Well, those are due in another hour, I think. So, yeah, we haven't put any in yet, but we will. We may put some in. I'm not going to say we will, but we're discussing that right now.
But I mean, are you going to be looking sort of?
I wouldn't say
more than usual.
No, I don't. I wouldn't say that.